I want to introduce the founder, the CEO of the Hollywood and African prestigious awards. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Miss Tina Weisinger. Hey! What's up, Miss Tina? Let's do this. Hey, DJ, yes. Hey, take us there. Booyah, 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 car. Hapawards 2022. The visionary herself, Miss Tina Weisinger in the house. Tina, welcome to the place to be.
Oh, thank you. I didn't expect that. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Please stand up. I just want to thank everybody that have come out to support us. As you all know, we've been around, this is our 6th year, and we're still pulling it together. As you see how complex our people are, and all the different cultures that we have, so you can imagine trying to blend all of us together because we were dismantled so long ago from each other. So if you can think about that, it'll let you know how hard this is to pull it all back together. So the thing is bridging the gap. We always say bridging the gap between Africa and the global community, not only us in Hollywood, but the global community. And I'm saying now that there's no more gap. The bridge is built. It's been built. We just got to keep walking over it back and forth, back and forth. We're not falling into this hole, this gap anymore. We have found each other, and we have to continue now to keep uplifting each other. So all the different cultures, we're just all trying to blend back in together and bring us back to that powerful people that we are. Because we are, all we need is us. We're power in numbers, we're power in the heart, we're power in knowledge, all this knowledge on the stage. And I just want to say thank you so much for being a part and helping to support our initiative and our motive. So with that being said, I don't want to take up much time because I know you're short on time, but
Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Give it up for Tina Weisinger. Give it up for Miss Amber Washington, the co-founder. Hey.
Okay, I want to thank one of our sponsors, Phil. I have to mention his name. He's amazing. Thank you for having us, Phil Westbrook, who's also an honoree at our show. Thank you. Give this man a hand. This is a beautiful home. Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank everybody. This is 2022, 6th edition. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. How about that? This is not only the beginning, it's our forever. And it stands for unity, togetherness, financial stability, and wealth. Thank you.
Y'all ready to bubble with me now? When you're ready, again. One more time. Hey, everybody now. Hey, to the right. Wave your flag, make you wave up your flag. Sing on the play, make we sing now. Bubble, 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 bubble. Bubble like a soup in a pan, get your hot. Bubble, 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 bubble. Now you know you can't flap. Bubble, 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 bubble. Like a soup in a pan, get your hot. Bubble, 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 bubble. Don't get me in a trouble. Man a real hot stepper, girl. Cause you hotter than pepper. You is a trendsetter. You shot like Beretta. Real African queen. Hotter than the girl in magazine. And when she pull up on the scene, so if you know what I mean. Bubble, 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 bubble. Bubble like a soup in a pot, girl you hot. Bubble, 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 bubble. Now you know you can't flop. Bubble, 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 bubble. Bubble like a soup in a pot, girl you hot. Bubble, 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 bubble. Don't get me in a trouble.
Bubble, bubble, yeah, I be bubbling. Ever since the day I met you, I be stuttering. Your Caribbean vibe, and I like your style. Everything about you, baby, it's a vibe. Yeah, they call me Bubble Bubble, cause I get the boys in trouble. It ain't my fault that I'm blessed with double double. And when I'm done with you, you be singing bubble bubble. And when I'm done with you, you be mumbling too. Bubble, 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 bubble. I wanna get you in trouble.
No, you mean a trouble?
Bubble, bubble, bubble.
Everybody down, come on.
We've been dancing all night long to our favorite song.
Y'all ready to bubble up there? Y'all ready to bubble? To the right. Bubble, 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 bubble. Bubble like a soup in a pot, girl you hot.
chose to represent this year. So, we had the national anthem sang by this beautiful young 18-year-old lady. And she's here today, and she's supposed to come up and sing.
She's doing a cappella, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for her.
Hi, I'm Sarah Duoku, and I'll be singing Home by Diana Ross.
Go ahead and sing it. We want it. We want it.
When I think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing. I wish I was home, I wish I was back there with the things I've been knowing. When that makes the tall trees bend into leaning, suddenly the snowflakes that fall have a meaning, sprinkling the scene makes it all so clean. And maybe there's a chance for me to get back now that I have some direction. It would sure be nice to be back home where there's love and affection. And maybe I can convince time to slow, giving me enough time in my life to grow up. Time be my friend. Let me start again. And suddenly my world's gone and changed its face, but I still know where I'm going. I have had my mind spun around in space, and yet I've watched it growing. If you're listening, God, please don't make it hard to believe in the things that we see. Tell us, should we run away? Should we try and stay? Or would it be better just to let things be? In this brand new world might be a fantasy, but it's something to love. So it's real, really real to me. And I have learned that we must look inside us to find a world full of love like yours, like mine, like
Hey! Please give the audience your name again and where you're from.
Sorry to go through. I'm from Liberia and Minnesota.
Liberia, yay! That's what's up, that's what's up. What's your dream? What's your ambition?
To be a singer and actress, to spread love and to just spread talent is meant to be spread. I think I've heard that yesterday or something, that your talent should be a gift to be.
There you go, you're already doing it, girl. That's what's up. Give it up one more time.
This is all about the power of storytelling through social media. We all have a phone. How can we use our phones and social media to get noticed from Hollywood, to get noticed for our businesses? So everyone here has had major success in the industry. They're all geniuses in their own right, so I'm very excited to be speaking with them. So we're gonna start off at the very end over here on how social media has helped you within your business, and then we'll just take it all the way down this way.
Well, I think the biggest thing is to understand, the first thing that I tell every artist is to understand that social media is kind of smoke and mirrors. I really tell the truth about this business. It's smoke and mirrors. So the way I explain it to an artist or an actor or anything is that there's a difference between a follower and a consumer. And you have to know that difference. So you can say, I have people that have 1.4 million followers, but they really only have 20,000 consumers. So that's the difference. So the way that you have to gauge this is, how do I make those followers a consumer? Now, the business side of what we do is we take your followers and put them through either sponsorship ideas so you can make capital from that. But it's really about understanding the difference between followers and consumers. For me, I don't get too caught up into the social media and what I have to put out because I'm working behind the scenes. I say if you see me too much, I'm not doing anything. So it will be rare that you will see me just out and posting pictures. I just don't do it. If you look on my social media, you'll see certain things, but it's more just me and my 13-year-old daughter because that's what I'm most proud of. But the business side of what I do, I teach the artists and kind of show them that route.
Thank you. You stay mysterious a little bit. Thank you, Tony.
Well, social media for us, I mean, my company's blackraiders.com. What we do is we connect people through film and television shows. Basically what we do is we rate our films and our shows from the black perspective. So what you see, you were the ones that said, hey, this is a good show, as opposed to having someone tell you what's a good show. So utilizing social media for us is basically more of a gauge to see how people are responding, to test the temperature on what they like. And so what we're able to do, because certain languages we don't speak, but we can tell who's watching what. So when you see Black Raiders pop up and you see the Fromometer explode, that's what we gauge by, is how many people are liking a certain film or certain show, but it's coming from your perspective. That's why we like social media.
My name is Rosemary Shiyanze from Kenya. For me, I find like the social media has given me a tool of power that if I want to get into a market, I don't have to go there. I don't have to go there physically. I don't have to go there physically. I can just use hashtags and get to go to that environment. Like I always wanted to be in LA and do something, but since I've been using the LA hashtag, when my ambassador saw that I'm interested in the LA market, he called me here to be part of this organization that is organizing for this thing. So for hashtags, they make you go into an environment and you're able to see the metrics, and then you are able to grow in an area that you never thought. For me, I feel like social media has given me so much power that if I didn't have, I would just be an ordinary designer in my village. So for me, I see social media as a tool of power. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Otis Salid, and my work represents 4 decades of American popular culture in every genre: television, film, stage. You've seen my work, you've known it all over the world. And so I'm not a very active, as a director, choreographer, writer, I'm not extremely active on social media, but I always make sure I stay relevant. Most of the people I'm always talking to on social media are people in the industry. I'm not running after popularity. I'm running after people who can hire me or can produce my work. So it's very defined, it's very, very specific as to who I'm speaking to. And I make sure that when I have a lot of followers who are just kind of hanging out, I don't really keep them too long. I make sure that I'm talking to the industry. And I'm going to tell you the power of social media and the power of the internet. I remember somebody contacted me from Abu Dhabi, and the next thing I know, I was producing all the live events for the Abu Dhabi Film Festival. And I never met them. I never met them. I mean, we did a huge contract just online. So that's the power of the internet and social media and all those kinds of things. But for me, I mean, I'm a different kind of individual. I don't really do a lot of social media stuff.
Well, my name is Peter Wise. I do casting and producing. It's for hiring actors. Now, the companies that I work for in marketing, we look at actors' social media followers. You know, if they have 1 million followers or 2 million followers, especially new people who are coming into industry, we kind of check the trending on them. It helps us decide on who we're going to cast if they're new, if they don't have major credits in films and television. and they have the passion and the dedication to be an actor, we look at that. So it does give us some gauging on your publicity or popularity, so to speak. So it is used now. It does help. It doesn't make you a good actor. A lot of people get confused, thinking that because they get likes, that they are now actors. No, that doesn't mean you're an actor. You still need to study. You still need to work on your craft. You need to work on your skill, hone your skills. So, but it is important that you are relevant in the IG game. Even the big agencies now have their own influencer department, CAA, because there's money being generated through sponsorship and using commercials. As you know, we don't have necessarily networks. They're using them for on IG, and they pay them kids. I coach some of them, and they're going, I make money, Mr. Wise, doing posting. You know, so it is a source of revenue for the new generation. So I support it. I think it's great, especially for people of color. It's a way that we can get exposure, which we didn't have access to. We didn't have our platforms. So it has given us a platform to get exposure. So I encourage people to look into social media, but use it properly. Don't use it for fame. Don't use it for fame. Be about the work. Be about a purpose. Have a message. You know, just don't be about, oh, I'm looking good, blah, blah, blah. No. You know, have some intelligent messages to send out to people, because you don't know who's watching and whose life you're supposed to impact.
Thank you. Speaking of who's watching, I kind of stalked all your guys' social medias to find out about you today. So this is how I formulated a lot of questions off of your guys' work. So I'm going to kind of go back through. I'm going to ask about 15 minutes of questions, and I'm going to if I can speak, offer you guys 10 minutes at the end to go ahead and ask your own questions to the panelists as well. So I'll go ahead and start with Silas. So you've had so much experience within personal branding, building brands. From someone that is just starting, what kind of advice would you give them about building their personal brand from the ground up?
Wow, from the ground up, it will kind of resonate in what you're trying to do. So, in my ability is just looking at what you're calling your brand. So it's different for me. Like an athlete's brand is more different than an artist trying to be a singer. So if you want to start building your brand, find out what is authentic to you. Because the first thing that happens when you start getting out there is everyone will try to change what you're trying to build. So you have to find, in building a brand, it's just finding what's authentic to you and then building around that. That's what I would suggest.
I like that, thank you. Okay, so Tony, I know you've used a lot of your personal experience for storytelling. That's how you first got into the industry to do what you do now. How would you offer somebody advice from a point of vulnerability to be able to put themselves out there?
Well, I mean, the biggest, I look at it like this. My biggest hold up for me progressing forward is me. Mm-hmm. There's nobody that can stand in your way to stop you from doing something you truly want to do. You must step out and be you, because a lot of people, what they do is they, like one of you said a moment ago, they're stepping out trying to impress someone without having the skill set developed to impress that person in the first place. So for me, it was always, get out of my own way. Stop doubting yourself. And then you can take a step forward and become that new person that you're supposed to be and develop the products or services or whatever it is that you're trying to build the brand from that point forward. But if you're standing in your way, questioning yourself, questioning whether or not people are going to accept you for what you're trying to do, you're never going to succeed, period.
Thank you. This is a fashion question. So how have you used storytelling with fashion to be able to push forward your own products? I think it's very interesting because you are product-based. A lot of people are producing their story, but you actually have a product to show and tell. How have you used social media to achieve that?
I think my highlight for me has been just rewriting the stories. We use a lot of African fabric, and it was meant to have it like an identity that it's only a cultural wear that you can wear when you have a wedding. So does it mean that if I don't have a wedding, I cannot be able to use it in the office? I cannot be able to wear it somewhere else. So we tried to rewrite the story that these garments can be worn anywhere, anyhow, with any gender, with any color. And that's the story, even if you check on my page on Instagram, that's the story I'm trying to tell people, that these clothes are not just for the specific elite or someone in the society. It's for every one of us to be able to embrace and get to a sustainable way of fashion. That this is something that is made for you, not for the mass market. You can go and buy the Shane and everything, but there's that pride and authenticity that you get when you have something that is just made for you. You feel special. Because even here, the way this mic, every one of us can have this mic, but the way my voice comes from this mic is very different from the way his voice will come there. So that's the identity we are trying to let you know, that this, whatever garment, even if the next person wears it, our identity is always to show that you're unique, there is excellence, and just rewriting the story that these garments you can wear anytime. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Of course.
Social media is a tool. It's not the skill. And I want to go back to what Peter was saying, Silas, and everyone's saying. You gotta have the skill. You gotta know stuff. You gotta know stuff. I was talking to a singer in here, and I said to her, "Do you know blah blah blah?" I said, "Well, what's that?" I said, "No. A singer knows songs. Singers know songs. If I go to Mariah or any of them, and I go, "Do you know blah 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 blah?" or Patty or any of those guys, they say, "Oh, what key do you want it in?" Right? Yolanda knows songs. She knows all those songs. Singers know songs. So in order to use that tool, you need to read. You have to know all kinds of music. You got to know your monologues. And so many people who are on social media, they get that hit. And then they can't sustain it. Now, I shouldn't be saying this, but I'm 73 in this. I've been in this for 50 years. And but I got a show on Broadway now called The Piano Lesson with Sam Jackson. I'm still doing it big because I got a skill. I actually took the time to study it. So in terms of storytelling, there's only so many stories and how you're going to tell it. So you got to learn how to tell it. Mm-hmm. I mean, if I pass you the ball, I expect you to shoot it and to make the shot. So again, let's not get it too twisted. Social media is a very important thing to do, but you also got to have the skills to get behind it, to push it forward, to push that shit forward. And one last thing to what you said about getting out of your way, and I'm finished. Do not be committed to people who are not committed to your commitment. Now that's a big one. Because and this is not so much a Christian thing as much as when you're doing great, the devil pops up, and you got to know that. So you got to say, "Oh no, not you." That's a big one for new artists out here. When you see you're moving forward, there's something pops up to say, "Well, should I take this road? Should I take this road? No, I'm going this way." So that's like a really good skill to say, "No, I'm not going here. I'm not going here. I'm going here with my skill."
You know what's funny is you literally answered my question that I had for you. For someone that wasn't as big on social media, you answered it as just honing your skill. And you can be successful in any industry. I think so many people think nowadays you have to have a digital presence, but you're showing that you really...
I have a digital presence that's fairly good, but I don't work at it. So when people come to me to tell them a story, I say, well, which kind of story we want to tell? I mean, is it a classical story? Is it a contemporary story? And this is so great about this, because now, with the relationships between African American and Africans, the level goes higher. And we must demand that we all are working together to make this ship sail.
Thank you. Okay, so Peter, I have to ask you, as a casting director, Post-pandemic, I think pre-pandemic, everyone felt like they had to be in LA or New York to get casted. Now I feel like the climate has kind of changed to more online and digital opportunities from different casting networks. For you, where do you look? If someone wanted to start to get on Peter's radar, what is the best way to go about it?
Well, it's doing the work. Mm-hmm. You know, I was going to add on to what they were saying. You know, a lot of people, you look good, you have a presence about you. That means you could hit it over the fence. You know baseball, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody know baseball in here? Mm-hmm. Right. If you hit it over the fence, that means you score. Should be, right? But the only way you score is if you touch first, second, and third, and home. You can't just hit it over the fence and not touch these bases. That's right. Every one of the bases to add to a point. And that's what happens with people. They're able to hit it over the fence because they look good, they have a great presence, but they're not touching the bases. So they're not scoring. They're just existing. And so that's when Otis and when Silas was and everyone else was saying, it's about commitment, it's about doing the work. You have to put in the work. And that's how you get on my radar. I ask God to use me, to give me the wisdom, to pick who I need to elevate, who's going to say, going to speak about him and say how good he is in their life. I'm sorry that I'm a Christian, and that's who I work for. And God lets me know, and he says, I'm supposed to bless that person because of their energy. It's all about your frequency. How things come to you is because of your frequency. If you have a white light or dark light, I'm looking for people with the white light. And not the color. I'm saying the spirit. And that they possess that. And so that's who I look for. So it's something I can't even explain it. You know, because it's such it's a walking by faith and not by sight situation for me.